Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another film review. Tonight we're looking at a 2024 horror film called In a Violent Nature. This came out this year, and it's a slasher film, but it's a completely different take on a slasher film. It follows a killer called Johnny. Not Jason, not Michael, but Johnny. And in this film, in this perspective, we follow the killer, not the actual teens or the storyline. It's all based around the killer. So a lot of the film is filmed. First of all, it sort of starts off with you can hear these guys talking outside this hut, and all of a sudden, our killer sort of emerges from the ground, a bit like sort of Jason does in the sort of film. So that was really cool. And the film is full of long, prolonged shots, sort of like from one camera view. And then he's out of the ground and he starts walking through the woods. And then quite a lot of the film we follow behind him in third person view, a bit like a video game, really, watching him sort of like walk through these woods all different times of the day. And he sort of like, when he comes across people, he kills them pretty much, and that is the plot. There's one point where he goes to he gets to the sort of like local farm where there's a couple of guys arguing, and these are local farmers, they know who he is. There's a legend behind his story, and he kills this guy in this farm. I can't show you any of the kills, really. They're all very brutal. And then we have the teens. The teens will have to turn up as always, and they set up their campfire. So he starts following these teens, and at night time we're at the campfire, and then the camera breaks away from our killer and goes to the campfire and sort of continuously sort of comes around the campfire, almost like he's circling it, I think. And they start telling stories, and one of the guys tells a story about Johnny, about he was he was a child with sort of like learning difficulties and a bit sort of slow and stuff like this. And he tells them the story of them and how he sort of come back and he sort of killed everybody locally and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, it's a typical sort of like story, but this one's obviously true. And then they all gather up for like a selfie, of course, and then while they're taking a selfie, behind them in the woods is our killer watching. And then they head to the hut wherever they stop, and our killer then starts moving forward and stalking them at their hut. One of the guys goes out to do whatever he said he's going to do, and he ends up getting killed brutally. And then the next day, the rest sort of break up, go looking for him or doing what they're doing. And a couple of the girls go to the lakes, and one of them goes in for a dip in the lakes. And it's a really cool scene there because we see our killer, we've seen him from behind, from the back of the lake, and then he walks in the water and goes down into the water, which is really cool. And then he turns up and kills the girl in the lake. And all these people sort of get killed apart from the one sort of survivor. And that is the plot of the story, and that is it. And pretty much most of the film is filmed behind the killer. Except now and again it will break away from it. Like when you get to the third part of the film, we then sort of follow a girl who gets sort of rescued by another woman in the car. Then it sort of breaks away from the killer, and we follow that girl for the final part of the film. And I loved it. I really loved it. This film got a real slating by so many people, and I just thinking, why? It is so cool because it's like no other slasher film out there. It was so original, but people, again, these expectations again people have, but you've got to remember this is from the creators of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Mickey Mouse Trap. It's from the same company. that produced those films. So you're not going to get this amazing high budget film, but it looks incredible. The pluses of the film, it looks incredible. The photography is amazing and the sound is absolutely fantastic. There's no music in the film apart from the titles at the end. The sound is the forest. The soundtrack is the forest and the footsteps of our killer and stuff like that. On it's all based on sort of like the different textures of what he walks on: leaves, mud, sticks, or our victims walk upon. It's all that is the soundtrack. It's got some amazing kills in the film. Some of them are really, really cool. Sort of, I'd say, Terrifier level kills. Not all of them, some of them. A couple of them were off screen, but that's quite cool too. I'm glad they're not all the same. And our killer is quite cool. He's quite this embodiment of evil. He's got this screen presence that you're thinking, wow, this is cool. This would be a great video game, you know, and it does play out a little bit like a video game. But that's really, really cool. And it's such a different way of making a slasher film. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, but a lot of it, you're staring at a tree branch for about nearly a minute. Yeah, but that I like that too, because that's sort of building the atmosphere of the forest, and it gives your brain a chance to settle down. Okay, so what's going on? What's happening? And gives you a chance to sort of think. And I like those sort of times, because they are meant to be there. And it's not just the kill time of the film. It's meant to be there for a reason, to sort of build up sort of tense of atmosphere, to bring it down all calm, this beautiful woodland area, before you follow him again and he kills someone else. There is quite a cool body count in this one. I think there's at least sort of like between 8 and 10 kills in this film. It runs for an hour and 34 minutes, and it flew by for me. Absolutely flew by. Really, really cool. Unlike any slasher film you've ever seen. I agree with that. I've never seen a slasher film like it. I'm going to score this an amazing watch and give it a 9 out of 10. Really cool film. And I know all the other channels are going to say, oh, I wasn't impressed. It was bored. Oh, if it did this, if it did that, if it did this. If you want all that, make a film yourself. That's what I always say. Instead of putting down someone else's piece of work, go and do it yourself if you can do better. Hang on a minute, you can't. So it's just like, be happy that you get something in a different perspective, a different way of looking at a film, a different speed of film, a different way it looks, a different way it's filmed. And all that adds to the horror of the film. It was like watching a Jason film, but from Jason's perspective, and it was so cool. I enjoyed every single minute of watching it. It's not a 10 out of 10 because obviously the storyline, there isn't one. Because you wouldn't have, why would you have a storyline? You know, there's this killer, you know, and he's killing people and stuff like this. And there's the only little storyline in there is over a necklace that his mum used to have that someone's taken, and that's what's waking him up. I think the guys at the beginning of the film, where they're chatting and all you see is like this old window in the barn, I think they've discovered this necklace and now he's on the hunt for it. That's what's made him come out of the ground, and it's arisen him back to life. But it's some really cool deaths, guys. Really cool film. And yes, it's a different horror film. It's got no music. There's no real suspense story. There's no real jump scares. You are the killer in this film, and about time. And I really, really enjoyed it. In a violent nature, 9 out of 10. Really cool. If you guys have seen it, let me know down below. If you have, you're probably going to say I hated it, but that's fine. You crack on with that, because that's the beauty of having your own opinion, and this is mine. I'm not trying to convince any of you anything else. I'm not trying to make you like it. I'm not trying to make you want to go and see it. I'm just telling you what I personally found about the film. Now, if your taste is quite similar to mine, which you would have known if you've seen other videos of mine and the scores I've given them, and you say, yeah, I agree with Joff on that, or yeah, I agree with them, then you've got that same sort of similar taste, then maybe, you know, it's good that it is for you. But anyone else, don't, I'm not here to sell it. I'm not here to make you want to watch it. I'm just telling you what I feel about it. And that is it, you know, and I loved it. Really cool film. Check it out if you want to see a really gory sort of a horror film. Yes, you've got Terrifier out this year, Terrifier 3, so it might be cool to watch something a little different. Really cool. Guys, please go and check out some other horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Manview Film, RS Design, Pizzawell. I am the Ice Little Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House, and a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.